I don't think it's much of a secret that the horror genre is one of my favorites. When it comes to the first anime that really pulled me into the medium, things like Higurashi come to mind. With last year bringing us Happy Sugar Life, the first actually scary anime to come out in a while, I assumed that was going to be my fill for quite some time. But when I first found The Promised Neverland 2 weeks ago, I figured I'd give this horror/shonen anime a shot. And damn, was that a good call. The Promised Neverland is one of the most inventive, but also terrifying anime to come out in the past 10 years. And I wholeheartedly mean that statement. Actually, funnily enough, I had a whole script on this show just a few days ago, but had to toss it because of just how important the new episode is. But more on that later. So how does The Promised Neverland reinvent the horror genre? After all, that's quite a bold claim. Well, first and foremost, we have to talk about how the show uses the medium of anime to its advantage. One of the biggest hindrances to horror anime is anime itself. It's not all that scary when you see a decapitated anime character in comparison to a real-life person. No images needed, so you have to scare your audience some other way. That way almost always being strictly through psychological horror. This is a much more difficult task than you would expect. You have to get the audience to invest in your characters, then promptly put those characters into horrible situations. As I've said in my previous videos, this is exactly how Happy Sugar Life does it with the character of Shio. So how does The Promised Neverland get us invested in these characters, and what kind of horrible situations causes us to fear for them? Well, first and foremost, they are all warm and happy children with huge smiles living in an almost pseudo-paradise. They all have this strong family-like bond. They work together, they play together, and they all have nothing but love for each other and their quote-unquote mom. And of course, being at an orphanage, a few of them get adopted every now and then. So when one of the characters gets adopted, she accidentally leaves her plush behind, and two of the most sympathetic characters go to give it back to her, and consequently, find the truth. That being that they are nothing but livestock, ready to be slaughtered and eaten. Worse yet, their so-called mother is the one doing the selling, and she's found evidence that some of the children saw her. The rest of the show turns into this horrifying cat and mouse game, where every odd is stacked against the main characters. Worse yet, after seeing these horrors, the main characters have to continue living with their mother and pretend not to be affected simply so she won't follow their trail. It's this crazy race against time where the characters will have to use their wits to not only save themselves, but everyone at the orphanage, including even infants. This sense of terror is built on by all of the character models. Most of the time, while watching horror anime, there are usually these grotesque faces you have to fear. But this is where the show uses the anime medium to its advantage. All of the characters are cute, happy-go-lucky kids, drawn with round faces and huge smiles, yet their death is extremely close, and they are completely ignorant to it. Even the mother, Isabel, merely has a stern face, and Sister Crone actually makes use of a more playful face. It's this stark contrast of what is happening on the surface and what is actually going on behind the scenes. Leading me to what I'm going to call the infamous tag scene. Spoiler warning, by the way, this scene is just better taken in without knowing it's coming, and just came with the newest episode, which is episode 3. I'll have a time code you can skip to if you don't want it somewhat spoiled. It's actually not that big of a spoiler, I just also don't want to rob you of it either. The tag scene is ingenious in design. All it is a game. One person is it, and tags everyone until there is no time left or everyone has been caught. This is just a fun game that all the kids play together, and we see them play fairly often. But with the third episode comes a change. The addition of Sister Crone. A new addition to the orphanage, This scene shows us just how much of a threat she is. She insists on playing tag with everyone else, with herself being the one who is it. The scene that plays out is truly terrifying. Sister Crone quickly tracks down each of the children using smart tactics, impressive athletics, and even some raw strength. With each catch, she hugs and embraces the children until there is just 3 characters left. Sister Crone cleverly forces Emma into a tough situation and catches her. In this scene, she directly references the horrors that Emma saw and states that she is on their side. What makes this scene so terrifying is the context and juxtaposition of what the show is really showing us. The show goes so far as to play upbeat, happy music as they're running around and playing tag, Sister Crone giving a loving hug to every person she catches, but we all understand what this scene truly represents. The dark truth that this is an example of what would happen if they ran away. All of them escaping together is an impossible feat at this point. This toppled together with Sister Crone revealing her knowledge, but also posing a question as to whose side she is really on. The infamous tag scene has an incredible amount of dark foreshadowing, all told with a giant smile on the antagonist's face. It's incredible how much they packed into that one scene, but it's this clever juxtaposition of the children who know and the ones who don't that fill this scene with such terror. It's such an ingenious way to rewrite the usual formula of psychological horror simply by using context. It's something I've never seen used to this degree, and it's extremely potent. This, combined with the art style's clever use of happy/cute character designs and their strong family bonds, make these characters extremely, well, lovable. So the fact that they're put in such a uniquely dangerous situation is the cause of so much suspense. The fear that one misspoken word or one broken rule can quickly lead to all of their deaths is terrifying. The Promised Neverland is truly reinventing horror within anime. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, maybe consider subscribing. So I'm back from my little vacation, which is super nice. Basically, all I did was chill and watch anime and play some video games. I actually streamed a little bit on Twitch, so if you want to follow me on Twitch, I stream sometimes, I guess, I don't know. A huge thank you to my patrons. You guys are my heroes. Speaking of which, if you're interested in seeing how I edit, joining our exclusive Discord, or simply supporting the channel, feel free to join my Patreon. Make sure you guys share, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Manime Matt. Make sure you guys say man and go watch that goddamned anime.